All right, y'all. I'm ready to do it. Let's get to this. We're going live, talking about streaming sports services. This is coming up real tough during a time where some sports are wrapping up, some sports are ramping up, and good Lord. But in the midst of all this is a broadcasting war for streaming services. And out of that, there are some stocks that are poised to become some winners. And I just want to drop some names out here and keep it going so we can look at this both now and in the future and see what we're talking about. I'm talking about stocks like Amazon, stocks like, who else we got? We got Amazon doing Prime Video. They're doing some stuff over here with Thursday Night Football, right? And we're also talking about Disney. Disney is still a major player in sports streaming. No matter how you look at it, no matter how you try to play it, Disney is a major player in sports streaming. And how they are able to do it is amazing. But Disney owning ESPN is still a major player in sports streaming. And then we've got the nerve to throw out here Comcast. Its broadcasting still involved with sports streaming. Hulu is doing something interesting with a new guy, Fubo TV. And I want to say, listen, I own a little bit of all of them, right? Somewhere, retirement, taxable, different portfolios. But I say this because all of these stocks are poised to undergo changes as these contracts change. And so I don't know if you've had a chance to look at um, Amazon Prime and what it does with Thursday Night Football, but from a broadcasting standpoint, live broadcasting sports on Amazon Prime has not impressed me yet. It has not impressed me yet. And I don't know if that's enough to keep the contract going, other than the funnel of money that they're putting out. But listen, if you're broadcasting sports, you're going to have to invest in money differently than you do for regular studio sports, which is why I'm saying now Fubo, right? Fubo TV. Fubo is poised to be in a different position than um, Amazon and these others because Fubo TV is doing a deal with Hulu, owned by Disney, right? So let's take it into account. Fubo owned trading about Fubo is trading at about $3 to $4 right now. Pick up some, on a whim if you want to. But Fubo is in negotiations, and its shareholders have just accepted the deal with Hulu for broadcasting live sports. If you have a smart TV, a Vizio, LG, whatever, usually when you see your options for live sports placed on there, Fubo is one of those options up there for live TV sports. And so now Hulu is picking up on that. Ergo, Disney is picking up on it. And so since Mickey Mouse is trying to get further into the live sports broadcasting, sports streaming business, both stocks are poised for some gains. How do I mean by gains? Fubo is going to definitely rise as it gets potentially acquired by Disney at some point. But it doesn't have to get acquired. It can just continue its service. But if they do this merger, then Fubo falls into the catalog of Disney and Disney Broadcasting for sports. And so that puts Disney with ESPN, Disney with Fubo, you would have it on Hulu, and then you would have the addition of what's going on with MMA. And we already know Apple is still engaged with MLB and soccer. But what we don't want to do is fall behind and not be part of this. And what I'm saying, not be part of it, with Fubo trading at $3 to $4, depending on how it moves, the eventuality that we'll see as this deal comes through sometime by the early part of 2026, right? And I think that's just probably a fiscal thing, right? Just to get it through both shareholders, through both sets of shareholders, through both administrations. It's already passed so far with the FCC, no issues. Once that's settled, their position. Comcast, I believe, is the one that's a struggler. And I say that because if Comcast doesn't change something, Comcast is going to continue to suffer. And I say suffer because Comcast is a great dividend paying stock, but Comcast is falling behind in the sports streaming broadcast wars. I'll just say it like that. They're not expanding. They're not growing. And when you're not doing that, what happens? You get overtaken. And with these contracts switching up the way that they are, you stand to lose. Imagine if you had the chance to have that WNBA contract 2 years ago and you missed out. You just flat out missed out. And now with the Caitlin craze settling in, and you've got the WNBA championship going through, you've got the Angel Reese sensation, all of that's happening, and basketball is still being played with these playoffs and these championships. Good Lord. Imagine if you missed that contract. Imagine if you didn't have that and what that does to your sports business as a broadcaster. And I think Comcast can stay around in streaming, but they're going to have to come up with a whole lot of studio offerings to make up for being on the fringe of what's happening with streaming sports. That's the way I see it right now. And let's be honest. Go back to this. These are the four, right now, primary players, not including Apple TV. Because I don't believe what Apple TV offers and how it offers it is promoted enough for fans to get a hold of it. I don't think MLB does a great job of it. I don't think Premier League does a great job of it. And I can access some of the other Premier League matches, right? Oh, other places. So it's not exclusive. And when it's not exclusive, that means you're in a competitive market for the same thing that you offer. So how do you draw eyeballs towards you? Amazon, I think, is in a great position with Thursday Night Football, they need to enhance their broadcast. It's too shaky. It doesn't keep up with the live action. It's not their best work. And when we talk about Amazon as a company, we've come to know Amazon for better delivery than that. And so when we talk about sports streaming, these companies are the ones that I say are where you should lean. And if you really want to be an early adapter, jump in football. Why not? It's positioned to rise based upon the bigger Disney giving it a surge. And if you take it now and take what Disney might do with football over the next year or so, you don't know where you're going to end up with as a shareholder. But you'll be better off having been involved and invested than you would being on the sidelines. Here's the issue. When you get into the woulda, coulda, shoulda position as an investor, then it's too late. It's too late, right? Oracle, you should have been in Oracle a long time ago. NVIDIA, you should have been in NVIDIA a long time ago. NVIDIA is going crazy, right? But if you're just trying to keep up and catch up, yeah, all right, you can say you hold it. But if you want to get into these stocks that are on the rise, your best shot is football. You want to get in a stock that's going to recover. Hey, Disney may just recover as it expands its sports offerings with this deal between Hulu and football. I don't think that the bundling and repackaging of Disney streaming services is by accident when they say, oh, you know what? We're going to take sports and put them all in a separate package and you can stream sports. That's not by accident. That's not by happenstance or coincidence that happened, and that's happening as we speak. Things are in the works, and they're in the works for a reason. And as we do this, look at it. Look at where these companies are poised to rise or maintain some stability, even enhancement, and take it from there. I don't believe Comcast is ready to make a move. I don't believe it. I don't see it. I'm not confident in Comcast coming through and all of a sudden having new material, sports material, to reach a broad audience, like an NFL or an MLB or even the MLS. What I'm seeing is these other companies are in to do something and do something bigger than what they've done before. My suggestion is, if you want to be an early adapter, as I mentioned before, get in with football at $3 to $4, right? I personally would not trade options on it right now. Why? Because you don't know, especially if you extend it out and you're extending out your contracts somewhere into late November, mid-December, what's going to happen as you draw closer to that end of the year, early 2026 change. You may price yourself out of the very things that you're trying to do with options. You may do best buying it, holding it, seeing what happens with it, and taking the profits as you go. That might be the best solution for you, but everyone's situation and scenario is different based upon what's going on with them personally. For me, I'm going to take the risk with football. I've already hold Disney and Amazon as well as Comcast. I'm staying there. I'm not invested in Apple for sports and streaming from sports. That's not the reason I would invest in Apple. I'm invested in Apple because Apple has proprietary things that they have going on that are lucrative, as well as they have probably one of the most loyal customer bases next to Nike. So that's why I would stay with Apple. I wouldn't stay with Apple because all of a sudden they're broadcasting soccer and MLB and time to jump on it. No, that's Apple TV is not a major thing. And if we look at how companies like Apple are handling streaming, they're pushing away and funneling out their services or their products and productions into other services. You can watch Apple TV on Prime if you really want to. Amazon, I'm sticking with Amazon because I know what Amazon can do, but I'm not invested in Amazon based upon them having Thursday night football. If that was the case, then I'd be ready to sell because Thursday night football is not the best production of anything I've seen from Amazon yet, but I'm willing to hold on to see it pay off. Hey, this is just my view, just my perspective, but this is what's happening in streaming sports and the various services and the providers. And it's surprising how providers are able to get away with this. Why did I not mention Google? Why did I not mention Google and YouTube TV? Well, is Google still trying to hold on to YouTube TV? Is Google not trying to sell YouTube TV? Is Google going to be in the YouTube TV business and streaming services next year? If you have YouTube TV, you'll notice a lot of the channels that are being shared, it's telling you that hey, this channel may be going away. Go to Save My Channel. We've gone through this with cable before. And now we're doing the same scenario with YouTube TV. Watch out. Watch out, because some of these big companies, larger tech companies, might be getting out of the business of this sector of entertainment. And with YouTube TV, that also means that football package that you might have been poised to purchase, that may be going by the wayside as well. Why do you think they're giving you all these deals and pay by the month and package it this way or that way? It's all different now. Don't fall for it. Keep an eye on it. That's why I didn't mention Google and YouTube TV as one of the things to keep an eye on, because definitely I would stay away from it as an investment. If you're investing in Google just because of YouTube TV and sports, and no, you're not looking at the full diversity of Google then. You're not looking at how Google makes plenty of money outside of YouTube TV. They don't need to even carry it anymore, technically. Do they still need to carry YouTube? I would say YouTube, yes. But YouTube TV, it can go either way. They don't have to have that anymore. It's not like Disney, where Disney is locked in with ESPN and ABC and these other companies. No, YouTube is a part of Google, and YouTube TV is not an essential part of Google. That's the way I see it. Hey, like I said, these are just opinions. Make your own selections based upon your situation and your own outlook. Are you looking long term? Are you looking short term? As I mentioned before, I definitely wouldn't play football as far as options. But hey, who's to say Amazon doesn't get their stuff together by Thanksgiving and have a amazing Thursday night football broadcast rented, and everything is in the works. They're using AWS, all of that to give you new data on the screen. Boom, it could blow up. But you got to keep your eye on it. Peace.